Hello everyone, this is Parul, and I hope you all doing well. So, have you ever wondered sandwich that you had in lunch completely transformed itself into energy and nutrients that keep us alive? How this transformation took place and what is the science behind it? Every day, our body performs many life processes that is essential to make us alive, or that is essential to keep us alive. The digestive system is a remarkable 30-foot long journey that transforms food into essential carbohydrates, vitamins, minerals, proteins, and even fats. Then all these components distributed distributed throughout the body through blood streams. And what is the main objective behind studying this 30 feet long journey? So by understanding how this system works, empowers us to make a better decision or choice what to eat and how could we care for our body. So let us join on a fascinating journey through one of nature's most elegant biological system, that is digestive system. So in this particular video, we are going to study biological assembly lines involve multiple organs working in a perfect harmony, each playing a crucial role in breaking down food, extracting vital nutrients that I mentioned earlier, vitamins, minerals, proteins, carbohydrates, and even fats, and eliminating waste. The food itself don't contain all essential vitamins or vital nutrients. It also contains some waste that is not needed by our body. So it should be eliminated outside our body. So how does this elimination occurs and the step-by-step processes involved in the digestion process? We will discuss all steps in this particular video. So let's dive in without wasting much time. The mouth, where digestion begins. From the first bite of your food, the digestion begins. And the digestion starts the instant food enters your body or enters your mouth. So your teeth perform the vital mechanical work of chewing, grinding food. And your teeth perform all this vital mechanical work of chewing, grinding food into small pieces to increase surface area. Hmm. So your teeth are precision instruments. They're designed for specific tasks like incisors slice, canines tear, and molar grind food into smaller pieces. And this mechanical breakdown, called mastication, is crucial to increase surface area of food particles, making them easier to get chemically digest. And the three types of teeth at work is incisors, canine, canines, and molar. Incisors your frontal eight teeth, okay, that cut down into that cut down food into smaller pieces, okay, and I'm talking about canine now. Canines are the pointed teeth that tear throughout the that sorry for the background noise. Okay, I'm talking about canine. The canine is a pointed teeth. Okay, this one. So the pointed teeth that tear through tougher meals like meat and fibrous vegetables. Okay, and most important, the canine in is more defined in carnivores because they rely upon they depended on meat and their the food is harder. Okay, the food is harder. That's why the canine is defined is well defined in carnivores. For example, lion, tiger, or even dogs. You can see their teeth are much longer than us. The canine teeth is much longer than us. And the last one is molar. Molars are the broad and wider one teeth that are in the back side of our mouth and that grinds food and crushes food into a paste. And even our tongue plays an important and crucial role um, that does manipulating food and mixing it with the saliva, forming it in a ball-like structure, which is also known as bolus. The tongue contains approximately 10,000 taste buds that not only help us to um, taste food, okay, or it also serve as a, quality control system, detecting potentially a quality or detecting a harmful substance in a food before they further go in our digestive tract. So that is the importance of tongue. So while our teeth perform mechanical breakdown, there are certain enzymes that get secreted through glands that is called salivary glands. So salivary glands secrete secreted by three pairs of glands, the parotid, submandibular, and sublingual gland. Okay, they all together produce saliva in our mouth, a complex fluid that contains 99% of water, but even also contain powerful enzymes in it. Okay, so what does this salivary amylase, salivary amylase do? So this salivary amylase breaks down the complex substance that is complex substance. What is that complex substances? Carbohydrates. For example, starch. So it breaks down carbohydrates that is starch into simpler sugars like maltose, and that is why but you ever experience that bread tastes sweeter when you chew it more. It is because of the starch that is containing in it, and starch is converting to sugar right in your mouth, and you even taste or can sense this sugar through tongue, through your tongue's taste buds. And what does this salivary amylase also does? This salivary amylase also contain um, some antimicrobial agents like lysozymes that destroy bacteria, protecting your body from pathogens that enter the food. And saliva also maintain the pH level in your mouth. What is essential to maintain pH balance in our mouth? It is to neutralize acid that could damage tooth, animal, and even It maintains minerals. Okay, it, it contains minerals like calcium and phosphate that actively help repair early tooth decay. Okay, what if our body is unable to secrete a good amount of salivary amylase or good amount of saliva? What would be occur? Then it would result in a condition known as zero terror, sorry, xerostomia. So in xerostomia, the body is inadequate to produce a sufficient saliva production, or without adequate saliva production, we have to face a condition that is known as xerostomia. In this particular situation or condition, digestion becomes difficult and the risk of tooth decay occurs, and there is a high chance of risk of tooth decay in the even infection increases very dramatically. So the mouth visualization occur, we have already discussed mechanical processing. Okay, salivary amylase and the bolus formation. Tongue helps, of course, tongue helps in the bolus formation by mixing it, by mixing the food with saliva. Down the esophagus, the muscular highway. So now the food enters into the food pipe, that is esophagus. So down the esophagus, the muscular highway. Once you swallow food, embarks a 10-inch journey through esophagus, a muscular tube connecting your mouth to your stomach. This isn't a passive slide; it's an active transport system. Mhm. It's not passively done. It is an active transport system powered by peristalsis. It is a movement which causes the food to push down in the pipe and systematically wave like muscles contraction that pushes food downward. Um, so swelling reflexes, peristaltic waves, and esophag- esophageal sphincter. These three, these three steps or these three phases are done under esophagus. So swelling reflexes is voluntary action triggers the automatic swelling process. And it's obviously done consciously by your mind, while the peristaltic waves are unconscious and it is involuntary in nature. So peristaltic waves, coordinated muscle contraction, propel food downward. It is a movement of pipe where contraction relaxation occur, and it's like a wave, um, rhythmic wave like muscle contraction, where the food pushes downward in the pipe, and there is no chance of pushing upward of that food. Okay, so the movement is so um, powerful that you could do it even without standing at a position, even if there is no gravity. When like you, for example, you are an astronaut, so you are out of the space, even there is no gravity. Still, this process do very effectively. Oh, sorry, does their work very effectively. And lastly, esophagus sphincter. It is a gateway that um, opens to allow entry into the stomach. Okay, so the lower esophageal sphincter acts as a one-way valve, opening to let food into stomach and closing to prevent stomach acid from flowing back up in the food pipe. So this entire journey takes just 5 to 10 seconds for liquid and slightly longer for solid foods, of course. Peristalsis is so powerful that you could theoretically while standing on your eat while standing on your head. Though we do not recommend trying it, of course. The next topic is stomach acid. Stomach acid is your body's chemical powerhouse. The stomach is a J-shaped muscular structure. Do you know it? So, stomach is a J-shaped structure, muscular sac-like structure located in the upper left part of the abdomen. And this remarkable organ can expand to hold 2 to 4 liters of food and liquid about the size of a football. Of course. The stomach has three critical jobs. Three critical jobs. What are these jobs? Are storing food. First one is storing food, and second is mixing it with the digestive juice. And third one is slowly releasing it into the small intestine for further processes. On the stomach lining, it itself contains millions of microscopic gastric glands and gastric glands that produce 2 to 3 liters of gastric juices daily. And this potent mixture includes hydrochloric acid HCl and the second one is pepsinogen, mucus, intrinsic factors. Okay, so let's talk about hydrochloric acid, HCl. Okay, so with a pH of 1.5 to 3.5 or a pH between 1.5 and 3.5, acid that kills most bacteria and viruses that enters with the food we eat and provided a crucial defense against foodborne illness. Of course, the acid kills down the bacteria and viruses and protect our body from them. They are they're totally undesirable in our body. That's why acid production is necessary. And of course, they are pathogen. They may cause various illness in our body. So it is very important to eliminate them. And the acid in our stomach, in our stomach, did it very well. The acid is a it its pH is around 1 to in between 1 and 3. It is most powerful. It is most potent one. The H positive ion is most um, powerful and strong in HCl. It is a strong acid. Now we are talking about pepsinogen, an inactive enzyme that becomes pepsin when exposed to strong acid. So HCl activates pepsinogen to become pepsin and this pepsin breaks down protein molecules of our food. So in our food, protein is digested by or break down by pepsin. Last, uh, last but not least, mucus, a thick protective layer that shields the stomach lining. course, it is like a covering of a stomach to prevent it from its own acid, to prevent it um, from digesting its own stomach. The acid produced by stomach is um, protected by mucus lining to digest itself. And the stomach muscular walls contract in every 20 seconds, churning food and gastric juice into a semi-liquid paste like a chyme. This mixing process takes 2 to 4 hours, depending 2 to 6 hours approximately, depending on what you have eaten. For example, if the food is carbohydrate rich, it would take 2 to 3 hours, and if the food is rich in protein, it would last to up to 3 to 4 hours. And if the food is enriched with high fat, then meal can remain up to 6 hours or more than 6 hours because fats are harder to break down. So that's all about stomach acid or about the digestion in stomach. We already discussed protein breakdown, pathogen defense, nutrient activation, or yeah, HCl. Acid helps extract minerals like iron and calcium from food. Churning acid, churning action, muscular walls mix food with acid, creating chyme. Stomach lining produces protective mucus that prevent the acid from digesting stomach itself. A remarkable feat of biological engineering. Food typically remains in the stomach for 2 to 4 hours. Now we are moving towards small intestine, the nutrient absorption powerhouse. Because most of the absorption takes place in small intestine, that is why uh, it is a absorption powerhouse. At approximately 20 feet long, the small intestine is where the magic of nutrient absorption truly happens. And most of the digestion completes here in small intestine. This coiled tube is divided into three sections: duodenum, jejunum, and ileum, each with specialized function. The inner surface of is covered with millions of tiny finger-like projections called villi, which increase the absorption surface area to roughly 2700 sorry 2700 square feet, about the size of a tennis court. Okay. So the small intestine is further divided into duodenum, jejunum, and ileum, and each has its own specific functions. Let's talk about duodenum. Duodenum, first 10 inches were digestive. It is first, of course, it is first, appear first. This is the first part of the small intestine, and it is 10 inches in size, where digestion and where digestive enzyme and bile mix with chyme. So the chyme that pass out from stomach falls here with digestive enzyme and bile, and the bile juice from where? Bile duct. So from bile duct it gets into duodenum and get mixed with chyme. Then it passed to jejunum, the middle section of a small intestine where most nutrient absorption occurs. Okay, so most nutrient absorption take place in jejunum. And the third part of small intestine, final session, absorbing remaining nutrients and vitamin B12. The point to note here is vitamin B12 is absorbed in ileum section of small intestine. Yeah, and as I told you that most of the digestion take place in small intestine. So the complete digestion of carbohydrates, proteins, and fats done in this small intestine part, where the carbohydrate breaks down into simpler sugars like glucose for energy and proteins converted into amino acids for building and repairing tissues, of course, and fats emulsified by bile and absorbed as fatty acids. So nutrients pass through the intestinal wall into the bloodstreams where they are transported throughout your body. And this process takes 3 to 5 hours with approximately 50% of nutrient absorption completed in the small intestine. And how this absorption take place? Do you know the how this absorption take place, or which structure is responsible for the absorption? We already discussed earlier in this part of small intestine, the session of small intestine. Look, finger-like projections called villi. These villis are responsible for the digestion, sorry, for absorption of many minerals and water. 90% of water absorbed here. Liver and pancreas, essential digestive partners. Okay. So the liver, your liver is a multitasking marvel, performing over 500 functions in digestion. It produces bile, a greenish yellow fluid stored in the uh, gallbladder. So the bile that we discussed earlier in duodenum. Okay, so from where this bile get in this duodenum? It is look, the bile production is done by liver. Your in digestion, it produces bile, a greenish yellow fluid stored in the gallbladder that emulsified fast. So the liver produces bile and stored in gallbladder, which help to emulsify fat, of course, breaking them into tiny droplets for easier enzyme access. The liver also processes nutrients absorbed from the small intestine, detoxify harmful substances. Yeah, it's also the function of liver to detoxify harmful substances, and the liver also produces nutrient absorbed from the small processes nutrients absorbed from small intestine and stores vitamins and minerals. So liver, these are the functions of liver. So liver processes nutrients absorbed from small intestine, detoxify harmful substances, store vitamins and minerals. And what does this pancreas do? So this dual purpose organ secretes powerful digestive enzymes into the small intestine. What I said, sorry. This I'm repeating my line. This dual purpose organ secretes powerful digestive enzymes into the small intestine. So the digestive enzyme that falls in duodenum. Here, here you can see the digestive enzyme. So this digestive enzyme is secreted by pancreas. Pancreas, including lipase for fat, and but this digestive enzyme contain. So this digestive enzyme contains lipase for fat, protease for protein, and amylase for carbohydrates. These digestive enzymes contain these three types of enzyme in it, that is lipase, protease, and amylase. Lipase digests fat, protease digests protein, and amylase digests or breaks down completely um, carbohydrates. So it also produces bicarbonate to neutralize stomach acid and entering the small intestine, creating the optimal pH environment for enzyme activity. So, of course, chyme is slightly bit acidic in nature. It should neutralize and make it suitable for and it- make it suitable for further function or for further processes by maintaining a pH balance. So the bile production is 500 to 600 ml of bile production daily by the liver. Okay, and enzyme secretion. Pancreas release 1.5 liter of digestive juice daily. And pH regulation, bicarbonates neutralize acid to produce intestinal lining. Did I tell you about saliva that even when we smelling, when we are smelling the smelling the food particles or smelling the food, um, the saliva itself increases its production up to 10 times. I hope you all know it. If you don't, um, I found it essential to share with you. So, large intestine, final processing station, water recovery and waste formation. So, the large intestinal colon is about 5 feet long. It is 5 feet long and serve as the final processing center. By the time material dishes here, most nutrients have been extracted, of course, and the colon's primary job is to absorb water and electrolytes from the remaining digestive food matter. So here in the large intestine, the function of large intestine is to just absorb water as much it can. So it absorbs food, waters and nutrients and electrolytes from food. Even if the food itself gets transformed into waste material, there is nothing in it. Almost of nutrients absorption and water absorption is done. So the rest of water content and electrolytes contents in them is absorbed in large intestine and transforming liquid waste into solid stool. Of course, the ingestive food matter is converted into solid stool, which is ultimately excreted out through anus. And this water reclamation is crucial. Your body absorbs approximately 1 to 2 liters of water daily through the colon. So most of water absorption is done here. I'm sorry, I just said that 90% of water is absorbed in small intestine. It is not in small intestine, it is in large intestine. 90% of water is absorbed in large intestine. Approximately 1 to 2 liters of water daily through the colon. Without this process, you would quickly become severely dehydrated. If this process doesn't occur in large intestine, so we may suffer from dehydration. Okay, so even large intestine plays a vital role in absorbing most of water content from that food particle. that is converting into waste stool. Yeah, and the clone is a part of large intestine. Okay, don't you get confused in this? Don't you get confused between clone and large intestine? It's all clone is a part of large intestine. Okay, for example, small intestine has three parts: duodenum, jejunum, and ileum. Exactly in that way, large intestine is um, has its own parts: transverse colon. Okay, like that. I hope it is mentioned here or not. Yeah, look. Cecum and ascending colon, transverse colon, descending and sigmoid colon. So, large intestine is further divided into these structures, which is cecum and ascending colon, transverse colon, and the descending and sigmoid colon. Lastly, it get ended at rectum. Okay, so the colon also houses trillions of beneficial bacteria that ferment remaining fiber, producing essential vitamins like vitamin K and some B vitamins. So, colon also has trillions of beneficial bacteria. And what that beneficial bacteria do? They ferment the remaining fibers, producing essential vitamins. So, the bacteria in colon producing essential vitamins like vitamin K and some B vitamins. So our body has that essential or beneficial bacteria in it that produce vitamin K for our body itself. Our body performing vitamin K for us. So we don't need vitamin K uh, in a very good amount from outside because it is produced in our body itself. And even some B vitamins also produced in our body. So क्या करना है ascending column क्या काम functions देख लेते हैं एक बार. Initial water absorption begins mixing with gut bacteria. So the initial water absorption begins mixing with gut bacteria. Continued water extraction and bacterial fermentation. Final water removal, waste storage until elimination. And stool storage and controlled release through defecation. Defecation. So सिंपली यही बात कह रहा है कि इनिशियल वाटर एब्जॉर्प्शन यहाँ पे होता है पहले इनिशियली वाटर यहाँ पे एब्जॉर्ब होगा कैकम के एरिया में देन ट्रांसफर कोलम के अंदर ट्रांसवर्स कोलोन के अंदर क्या होगा कि वाटर एक्सट्रैक्शन जो है वो कंटिन्यू रहेगा एंड बैक्टीरियल फर्मेंटेशन होगा जो वही एसेंशियल बैक्टीरिया है वो फर्मेंट करेंगे एंड प्रोड्यूस करेंगे essential vitamins like vitamin K and vitamin B complexes. The descending and sigmoid colon जो है वो final water removal करेंगे and waste store करेंगे until elimination. जब तक वो eliminate करते तो वही स्टोर कर लेंगे वेस्ट को एंड देन रेक्टम वो स्टोर करते हैं स्टूल को जब तक वो स्टोर कर सकता है typically material typically spends 12 to 40% large percent before elimination. So this varies significantly based on diet, hydration, and individual physiology. रेक्टम जहाँ पे एलिमिनेशन होती है मतलब जहाँ पे टेम्परेरी स्टोर रहता है स्टूल जब तक वो कर सकता है उसके बाद फिर वो पास ऑन हो जाता है. But it typically, so the gut microbiome, your internal ecosystem. थोड़ा ही बचा है, जस्ट जल्दी जल्दी खत्म कर लेते हैं. The gut microbiome, your internal ecosystem, living inside your digestive tract are approximately 100 trillion microorganisms collectively called the gut micro. वही जो gut micro हमने बताया था कि बहुत बिलियंस ऑफ ट्रिलियंस ऑफ जो माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म हमारे डाइजेस्टिव ट्रैक्ट के अंदर रहते हैं, उन्हीं को हम गट microbiome बोलेंगे. These are teeny inhabitants, primarily bacteria, also include fungi and viruses, outnumber your own cells by about 10 to 1. So far from being passive passengers, they play crucial role in your health, influencing everything from digestion to immune function and even mental health. So they don't live passively in our body. They do some work for us also. For example, they facilitate digestion, improve immune system, and even health, mental health also. So immune support, how does they do all these things? Immune support is beneficial bacteria train your immune system and produce antimicrobial components that fight pathogens, protecting you from infection and illness. So it would train our immune system and produce antimicrobial components. Okay, so vitamin production, gut bacteria synthesize essential vitamins, including K, B12, thiamine, and riboflavin that your body cannot produce on its own. Of course, our body is not able to produce itself these essential vitamins. These are the gut bacteria that are responsible for the synthesis of these essential vitamins in our body. So actual production is done by this gut bacteria that is inhabitant of our body. Okay. So brain connection. How gut bacteria affect our mental health. So the gut brain axis allows microbiome to influence mood, behavior, and mental health through neurotransmitter production, including serotonin. So they typically produce the hormone that is serotonin, which is responsible for our improved mental health or neurotransmitter production. That will ultimately influence our moods, behavior, and mental health. Metabolic function. Bacteria break down complex carbohydrate and fibers, producing short chain fatty acids that produce energy and reduce inflammation. So they also do metabolic function. For example, they break down carbohydrates and fibers to produce a short chain fatty acid, which ultimately produce energy and reduce inflammation. A diverse gut microbiome is associated with better overall health, strong immunity, and reduced risk of chronic disease, including obesity, diabetes, and heart disease. They also help us to strong our immune system and reduce risk of chronic diseases. That is obesity, diabetes, and heart disease. And common digestive disorders. So these are the common disorders that you can that anyone can experience, not you. So acid reflux and gut. It would occur when stomach acid flows back into esophagus, and causing heartburn and discomfort. So chronic reflux can damage esophageal tissue. Yeah, if it isn't chronically it isn't in badly sorry क्या कह रही हूँ मैं अगर ये कुछ ज्यादा ही badly affect करेगा सो ये ऑफ कोर्स डैमेज कर सकता है esophageal जो टिश्यूज है उसको अगर ये सीवियरली होने लगा थोड़ा बहुत अमाउंट में हुआ तो एसिड अगर फ्लो कर रहा है बैक फ्लो कर रहा है इसोफेगस की साइड सो डैमेज थोड़ा होगा पर अगर ज्यादा ये कर रहा है तो ऑफ कोर्स वो डैमेज कर देगा ना एसोफेगल जो टिश्यूज हैं उनको affect approximately 20% of adults in western countries so ये जो मतलब डिसऑर्डर है एसिड रिफ्लक्स एंड GERD वाला ये approximately 20% of adults को वेस्टर्न कंट्रीज में अफेक्ट कर मतलब है या सो अफेक्ट कर चुका है ये 20% of adult को so irritable bowel syndrome a chronic condition causing abdominal pain bloating and altered bowel habits ये इरिटेबल बाउल सिंड्रोम क्या होता है एब्डोमिनल पेन कॉज करता है ब्लोटिंग कॉज करता है अल्टर्ड बाउल हैबिटेट्स कॉज करेगा व्हाइल नॉट लाइफ थ्रेटनिंग जो ये लाइफ थ्रेटनिंग है कॉज किसी की मृत्यु नहीं होती इससे IBS significantly impacts quality of life for 10 to 15% of the global population. Inflammatory inflammatory bowel disease, gal, uh, gallstones, hard deposit in the gallbladder. ये वही है पथरी जिसे हम बोलते हैं commonly. Gallstone, which is hard deposit in the gallbladder that can block bile ducts, causing severe pain, affect about 10 to 15% of adult, more common in human and those over 40. वो बोलते हैं ना पित्त की थैली में पथरी हो गई है वही वाली कंडीशन को बता रहा है so inflammatory bowel diseases include Crohn's disease ulcer- ulcerative colitis colitis autoimmune conditions causing chronic intestinal inflammation requires ongoing medical management and can lead to serious complications if untreated so ये कुछ सिम्टम्स बता रहे हैं जो अगर आप एक्सपीरियंस करते हैं तो यू शुड कंसल्ट अ डॉक्टर persistent abdominal pain वही जो एसोफेगस आपका फूड पाइप है उसमें अगर आपको पेन है ओके एंड एब्डोमिनल पेन है सॉरी मैंने आपको पेरिस्टेलिक का बता दिया पेरिस्टेलिसिस का बता दिया ये persistence है because I am just feeling थोड़ा बहुत tired and feeling tired now that's मैंने थोड़ा सा misunderstand कर दिया चीजों को sorry for this mistake this huge mistake and blood in stool unexplained weight loss blood in stool तो आपको कंडीशन पता ही है and unexplained weight loss कि जब आपका weight loss किसी कंडीशन के बिना ही हो रहा है लाइक आपको ये नहीं है आप अचानक से आप वेट लॉस कर रहे हैं एंड सीवियर एंड क्रोनिक हार्टबर्न है और significantly changes in bowel habits warrant medical evaluation मेंटेनिंग ऑप्टिमल डाइजेस्टिव हेल्थ अब हम कैसे अपनी डाइजेस्टिव हेल्थ को अच्छा कर सकते हैं मतलब इसकी केयर कर सकते हैं कैसे कर सकते हैं डाइजेस्टिव हेल्थ को इम्प्रूव So your digestive system health depends significantly on lifestyle choices कि आप किस टाइप की लाइफ स्टाइल चूज करते हैं, बहुत फर्क पड़ता है इससे। इम्प्लीमेंटिंग these evidence based strategies can improve digestion, prevent disorders and enhance overall well-being. For example, fiber rich diet. Hmm. Fiber rich diet aim for 25 to 35 grams daily from fruit, vegetables, whole grains, and le- legumes to support regular bowel movements and feed beneficial gut bacteria. So आपको ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा फाइबर रिच डाइट लेनी चाहिए. स्टे हाइड्रेटेड, पानी ज़्यादा पिएं. Drink at least 8 glasses of water daily to help it digest food and absorb nutrients while preventing constipation. Cause probiotics and fermented food. कि आपको probiotics और fermented food लेना चाहिए. For example, yogurt, the kimchi introduce beneficial bacteria that supports a healthy um, micro microbiome. रेगुलर एक्सरसाइज, ऑफ कोर्स रेगुलर एक्सरसाइज तो फिजिकल एक्टिविटी हमें करनी चाहिए जिससे कि डायरेक्शन हमारा इम्प्रूव हो, कॉन्स्टिपेशन ना हमें फील हो, एंड reduce time spending in the clone and promoting regular physical, yeah. तो डायरेक्शन अच्छा होता है जिससे और रेगुलर एक्सरसाइज से. Additional lifestyle tips is eat slowly and chew thoroughly. जल्दी जल्दी मत खाओ, ऐसे नहीं कि बस ऐसे निकल जा रहे हो. Properly chew करो फूड को. Manage stress through meditation or yoga. You should do yoga and meditation. जिससे आप स्ट्रेस रिलीफ हो. स्ट्रेस अगर आपको है तो डाइजेशन में प्रॉब्लम हो सकती है. Limit processed food and excess sugar. बाहर का आपको जो पैक्ड फूड है अवॉइड करो. घर के बना हुआ हेल्थी फूड लो, फ्रेश फूड लो. इट में स्टेल, ओके, देर इज हाई चांसेस कि आप जो भी बाहर का खा रहे हैं वो स्टेल हो. So limit processed food and so yeah, avoid smoking and excessive alcohol. Maintain a consistent eating schedule. Consistent eating schedule होना चाहिए. Get 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep. So sleep cycle भी आपकी अच्छी होनी चाहिए हेल्थी रहने के लिए, ऑफ कोर्स. एंड यहाँ पे ये जो मेंटेन है कंसिस्टेंट ईटिंग शेड्यूल है. कंसिस्टेंट इन द वे कि मतलब कंसिस्टेंट कि आप डेली एक साइकिल बना ली क्या, इस टाइम पे आप खा रहे हैं, और एक कांस्टेंट एक वो आपका शेड्यूल बन जाएगा. जब कंसिस्टेंट हैं आप अपनी हेल्थ को लेके तो काफी ज्यादा जो है चीजें आपको नोटिस में आएंगी. जैसे आपको अम, जिस टाइम पे आप खाते होगे तो आपको 5 मिनट पहले या सलाइवा फॉर्मेशन स्टार्ट हो जाएगा. अगर आपने उस टाइम पे नहीं खाया तो सलाइवा जो है वो ऑटोमेटिकली, अगर आपका टाइम बंधा हुआ है तो उस टाइम पे ही सलाइवा सिक्रीशन होने लगेगा. यू कैन सी इट. जब 2 से 3 दिन करके देखना, अगर आप एग्जैक्टली 2 बजे दोपहर में खाना खा रहे हो तो चौथे 5वें दिन ऑटोमेटिकली सलाइवा सिक्रेशन हो जाएगा. अगर आप नहीं 2 बजे खाना ले रहे हो तो you will experience saliva secretion on your in your mouth. Okay, that's all for today. Taking care of your digestive system. Taking care of your digestive system or digestive health is one of the most important investments you can do or you can make in your overall well-being. Small daily choices compound into significant long-term benefits. Thank you. If you like this video, thumbs up and like and subscribe my channel. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye bye.